Welcome to Whiskey and Sunshine at Home.
Hi guys.
Hello and welcome to Whiskey and Sunshine at Home. We really wanted to make a short introduction video to show folks how we live and how we arrived at this place in our lives. Also, with the current interest going on with off-gridding, homesteading, primitive living, and being pushed by reality TV like crazy, we just thought we might try to bring things more back down to what it's really like.
So off-grid and homesteading mean different things to different people. That being said, there are just as many different reasons for people wanting to achieve those lifestyles or pursue them.
So anyway, we found this place, and it was only about 5 years old. It had been vacant for at least 2 or 3. The unfortunate people that built it, or had it built, they did a fantastic job. The place is way over-engineered. It heats great. It's got wonderful windows in it. For whatever reason, they had some really bad luck with battery banks and generators, and I don't know if their expectations were too high. I really don't like to think about it much because in a lot of ways I feel bad.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I took over somebody else's dream. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's almost like you feel a little bit guilty about it, that you moved into their home. But I hope they would like what we've done and kept up with it.
Could probably ask them.
Yeah.
They didn't. I mean, they had a bad time. I know they had several mortgages, and we found that out at closing. And then they had. I know they'd burned up battery banks, which we're talking $10,000 worth of batteries, and probably a $5,000 generator they burned up and had to replace that. And then they burned another set of batteries up, and they ended up abandoning the place. And it was sad because, here we are, there's this brand new house in the woods in the middle of nowhere and on 12 acres.
Yeah. So
it's a big piece of property. It's covered with mixed hardwood, and there's some pine. There's a few softwoods around, but it's mostly hardwood. And, it's a great spot. We're about a quarter of a mile off the road, so we don't get a lot of road noise, as you can probably hear. It's more chicken noise pollution than anything else.
Right, but we have a heck of a driveway that we get to plow
we have a private road we have to maintain, which brings into the picture a lot of tools that we have to have that I'm sure the original owners didn't. I don't want anybody to think that we had so much money that we went out and bought all this stuff, because we didn't. We had all this stuff because for the most part, we lived this life before we were off grid.
Right.
We always did everything for ourselves. It's kind of the way I was raised. And I don't know. I mean, some people say, oh, you're a prepper. Well, if that's the case, then my parents were preppers, and I really wouldn't call them that. My dad fought in World War II, so calling him a prepper would have been kind of silly. He would have kind of cocked his head at that and said, oh, what?
Right.
But we always had all kinds of food and stuff at home. We never worried about what we were going to be eating for our next meal. And everything was just, very basic. And I guess that kind of rubbed off because, that's the way we lived. And, of course, that's what we tried to instill in our kids. And as they've gotten older, I think I'd say that's turned out pretty well. One of my big fears was I was wondering what they would think when we sold their home. They only their childhood home. But now they come here and they visit and they don't want to leave because it's so quiet and so peaceful here.
They love it, and they see that we're happy too, and that makes them happy. They just want, like what we want for our kids is to be happy. So
yeah,
that's
part of it. And I got to believe that there are a lot of people in the world today that's what they really want. If they didn't want that, then a lot of these TV shows wouldn't be so popular as they are.
Right.
I do think they're way over dramatized. We joke around all the time. My chainsaw will break down or something. The starter cord will come out of it, and I'll look at her and say, "Oh my God, will they freeze?" or will they get the saw fixed so they'll have enough wood to get through the
Stay
winter?
tuned.
And then we'll cut to commercial. You know, everything is just the reality of living off grid is you're always busy. There's always work to do. But honestly, in a lot of ways, it's kind of boring. It's exciting. Well, when it's exciting, it's mostly because you're having trouble. There's
Right.
something wrong.
Which isn't
It's
good
not a good
exciting
thing.
usually.
And nobody cuts to commercial.
No, there's no commercial in it.
Yeah, you find out really quick that you are sponsored by no one.
Mm-hmm.
No one at all.
That's
But
right.
I don't know. It is the life that I wanted to live, I think. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
very happy.
Yeah, I think we've definitely found a great spot, and we're slowly making it ours. It takes time, and we've started the garden. I started at first with a hay bale garden, and just to see what it would do, and it worked out pretty well. And then started with the chickens, fencing in another area, and expanding that pretty much every year.
Yeah.
So it gets bigger and bigger, and I just want to grow more, and it's great. It's
And
fun.
I don't know about you, but I would encourage anybody if they want to try to live like this. You know, the first thing you need to do is be honest with yourself, and you know, hopefully you have the skills and the mindset to make it work. You know, some people do and some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
I had kind of a strange upbringing. I've been more or less in the trades my whole life, so I've done a lot of things. So I know a lot of skills that I always have. I don't remember learning how to weld because I learned at such a young age. It's just stuff like that. But I tried talking to people on the forums and stuff about it, and there's so many people on there that are such idealists, and they tell you, well, you know, you've got cell phones and you're not off grid, or you know, you've got. Well, I got news for you. Not only do we have cell phones, we have satellite TV.
Yeah.
The only thing that runs to this house in a wire, for some freak of nature, I don't know exactly why they did it. They ran the phone line down this road. So the previous owners had a phone line installed. We don't use it for our phone, but we use it for Wi-Fi. So we have actual Wi-Fi. It's not really high speed, but it's not bad. You know, it's a lot better than you'd expect to get off grid. It would be better than satellite.
Cellular service is not great.
No, that's true. No, we are in the woods here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can hear a truck right now that is probably over a mile away, running its Jake brake, coming down a steep hill on an adjacent highway. But that is quite a ways away. We're up quite a ways in the woods, and we like it that way. We're in a area that's what's called unorganized territory, which means it doesn't have a town office, doesn't have a fire department, anything like that.
But we're not far from those things.
But because of that, all of our permitting processes and our codes fall to the county and the county commissioner, and they're fairly lax. Our taxes are low because we don't have all that stuff, which is a bonus. And we were fortunate enough to be able to sell our old house and our woodlot for enough money to buy this place outright. So we really don't have any house payments anymore, which is lucky. I mean, I'm not going to tell you we weren't lucky. And my parents, through all their hard work, and my grandparents, they really kind of, not knowingly, they left us in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to feel that if they were still around, they wouldn't want to be in that town anymore either. It's sad, but it's the way it is. It's a beautiful place. I still love it. But I'd a lot rather drive through it than I would live there. I don't know how better to put it.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah.
In the future, we're gonna try to put out a lot of different videos about the things we use to live this way.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the tricks we found, some of the things not to do, because we have made a lot of mistakes.
And we're still learning every day.
We've had some major disappointments. We've been able to work through them. But the key thing to remember about this is, if you want to do it, it's number one, it's not cheap to live the way we are.
No.
It's cheap once you get everything set up and going, but it would not be cheap to start from the get-go. It would not. And to make a go of it without a lot of money, you're going to have to do a lot of stuff yourself. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff you have to do that is just plain not fun at all. It's nothing but hard work and no pat on the head. But the pat on the head is sitting out here on our deck in the evening, not being able to see a man-made light in any direction, nowhere, not from the road, nowhere.
Right.
12 months out of the year, even when the leaves are off the trees, you can't see any man-made lights from here. And we can sit out here and look at the Milky Way, and you don't know what light pollution is until you go to a place where there isn't any.
Right.
But if you're interested in how we live, we'd love to have you keep coming back, and stick around, even if it's just for the fun of it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll do the best we can to answer them.
Yep.
Like I said, we're not sponsored by anybody, but we're not beyond doing reviews on stuff, because I would rather see people spending their money on stuff that works.
Right.
And sometimes it's better to spend the long dollar on something once and do the buy once, cry once thing than it is to keep blowing money year after year on cheap stuff. But anyway, I think that should pretty much take care of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that was really good.
All right. Well, so stay tuned. Maybe we'll have another video for you soon on something that'll really jump right out at you. Like, I don't know, what do you think? Firearms for the modern homestead or something like that.
Yeah.
Practical firearms for the modern homestead. I think that would be even better.
Yeah, I think that would be great. So stay tuned.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.